Over the summer to mark Loose Women's 20th anniversary, the likes of Andrea, Nadia, Jane and Denise turned back the clock to share some of their secrets of their life before Loose. Well, today it is back by popular demand, continuing our trip down memory lane. She's been a Loose woman since 2016. It's time to hear Stacey's life before Loose. Oh, and what a difference you've made to us, you know, Stacey.
Oh,
you
my
really
God.
have.
I honestly feel like there's not going to be a lot of content.
Oh, there is.
I was watching Jane's and Nadia's and, you know, first female editors and big soap stars, and I was like, oh, my God, what am I going to say?
Incredible what you have packed in a short time. But let's go back to Stacey and Dagenham. You're the middle child, yeah?
Yes.
Older sister, younger brother. Paint us a picture. What kind of character were you?
My sister used to call me Shallow Hal because I just walked around life thinking I was amazing. And she was like, you could have literally had bird poo in your hair and you'd go, doesn't my hair look nice? I had a really rose-tinted outlook. I think I've probably still got it on everything. Oh, stop showing these weird old...
No! Oh, and that's really just your nature, do you think?
I think that, you know, I think there's a big argument to be had about nature versus nurture, but I think fundamentally I was always who I was, and the same with my sister and my brother and the people that I've grown up with. I feel like they were the people they were going to be. I don't... And people, a lot of times, people will say, I'll never change, and I think to myself, I haven't got a clue how. I only know this default setting of mine.
Yeah. And did you love school? Were you sort of into it? Or?
I loved primary school. I loved, actually, secondary school. But as I got older, I realised that I was an unfortunate-looking teenager. No, but in a nice way. No, you know what I mean? And I realised that at school, I was only going to have friends if I was, like, the funny one or the silly one or the naughty one. I wasn't going to have friends for just the way.
Were you naughty then?
I did end up going down the path of destruction. But in a cheeky way. I was never horrible, but I always felt like, oh, I'm just going to push everyone's boundaries. I also didn't enjoy being told who I was or what I was going to be. Sometimes I felt like growing up in an area that isn't as, you know, forthcoming as other areas, you sometimes feel like people have already made their mind up about your life and what you're going to be and who you're going to become. And I think I never really wanted to stand by that and wanted to challenge it.
But being naughty, did that make you more popular? Because it usually is that people do tend to gravitate towards naughty girls, don't they?
I think that being silly made me more popular. Being naughty actually lost me a few friends in the end because the people around me would get in trouble and that wasn't fair on them. So the naughty side of it, I think I did it as a rebellious streak, almost to say, no one can tell me who I'm going to be or what I'm going to do. I'll be whoever I want to be. Yeah. But then the cheeky, silly side of me meant I had really lovely friends.
So you got away with it, basically?
Yeah,
got away with
a little bit.
Where things have gone. I mean, you know, we'll talk later about X Factor and things, and I believe you were a prom queen at some point.
Yeah, I think I rigged the votes. I went around saying, I'll vote for you if you vote for me.
But did you have that thing?
Oh, my God,
where
did you want to be famous? Did you have that thing inside you? Did you know what you wanted to be?
No, I never wanted to be famous. I don't think that was much of a thing when I was growing up. It was more, I want to be a singer or I want to be an actress or I want to be a dancer. Yeah. The whole famous thing didn't come around till I was in the public eye, and then there was more reality TV and people did just want to be famous. Whereas I grew up dreaming of like being a singer. And
did you tell the teachers you want to be a singer?
Yeah, I used to say one day I'm going to be a singer.
Did they poo-poo the idea or did they encourage you or...?
I don't think they did either way. I think most of the time it'd be like, first get your exams, do something proper, make sure you've got your education behind you and then see where it goes. My parents always supported me. My parents were amazing and just said that I could be whoever I wanted to be.
And did that get derailed to a certain extent when you found out you were pregnant?
When I found out I was pregnant, I was at college at the time, and I think that my ambition was to finish college. I was doing a national diploma for musical theatre, then go on to university and then hopefully have the chance to either teach in that area or go on to do some theatre or, you know, whatever I could in the industry because I loved it so much. and when I got pregnant, I was in the middle of my college course, so I definitely thought, well, I'll never be able to get my national diploma, so I won't be able to go to university. So I don't think it's as easy for people to find auditions and find the right people and meet the right people to get into this industry. So I kind of did think that probably that was not going to happen for me.
How did you feel when you found out, though, that you were
God, I remember
at 17?
Being in a cafe and sitting with my dad and my stepmum, and I literally was gagging, and I was like, Dad, your onions, those onions stink, your breath stinks. And I couldn't sit next to him. I was like heaving in the corner. And he was like, well, I haven't got any onions. And I thought, that's weird. I just didn't think anything of it. I just thought, well, that's so weird. I can smell them. I thought someone must have had like extra strong steroid onions somewhere. And my stepmum, when we got home that night, she took me upstairs and was like, here you go, and handed me a pregnancy test. And I was like, what the heck is that for? The thought of my parents knowing that I'd even had sex just made me want to die. I was just like, I don't need that. I'm absolutely fine.
How many weeks were you at that point?
Well, I didn't find out. So I weed on it, and you know, sometimes
As you do.
as you do.
He honestly.
Just in case anyone was wondering how to use it. Sometimes, but when I've been trying to have a baby, I've done the test and waited ages praying for one of those lines to appear. When I did this test, about 30 seconds later, it just went,
King!
Pregnant! And I was like, I just did it. I don't think I really believed it. I kind of felt like, oh, yeah, but these things show you that all the time. I was 17. I was like, what a load of rubbish. Everything's going to be fine. And when I came to terms with the idea that I might actually be pregnant and my stepmum convinced me to tell my parents, I felt a bit sick about the whole thing. I just felt like, what the hell am I going to do?
Did you know absolutely that you were going to go ahead and have the baby?
No, I would say that there was definitely times when I considered not going down that route for sure, because I was so young and my boyfriend at the time was extremely young and it wasn't what either of us had planned. I think it's a really tough decision to make, and I think whatever way that you go is the way that you go, and that's okay. The only thing that I always remember is that my parents just wouldn't give me any input whatsoever. So although they were really upset for me and hurt but disappointed, they never told me whether I should go ahead and have the baby or not go ahead and have the baby, which at the time was absolute turmoil. All I wanted was my mum and dad to tell me what to do. Yeah. I just felt like I couldn't make such a big decision on my own, and I really needed them. But looking back, in hindsight, it's the best thing they could have ever done, because I made that decision on my own and I took responsibility for it.
That's tough, but being so young and being a parent, you did it. Like, you managed it.
I don't know, Kelly.
I'm not saying it was easy, but you did do it, and you should just give yourself a pat on the back for that.
No, you know, I haven't done anything that thousands and thousands of people have done as well. You know, I was in such a privileged position to have family.
Oh, you're so young,
who supported
Stacey.
me. I had a mum and a dad and a stepmum, like basically 3 parents to be there for me. That is such a privilege. You know, I was in a group of teenage pregnant women when I was going through my pregnancy, and a lot of them had so much less than that fundamental family setup. So I feel really privileged. Even though we didn't have any money and we struggled in that sense, actually my biggest privilege was them.
That support network and the love that was around you.